What's going on, everyone? It's your favorite minority from the loud majority, touching base with the base. Gotta do another one of these reaction videos, and we're back with our favorite uh centrist, um, fiscal conservative, um, but advocate liberal. I don't even know how to explain him or describe him anymore, but Stephen A. Smith. Another reaction video for Stephen A. Smith because Stephen A. Smith continues to pretty much tell the truth about everything that's going on with our government, with our current administration. He's telling the truth about the things that they're doing and all the bad things that they're doing. He's telling the truth. He's being honest with the people about what they're doing. Yet he still can't seem to just like come to a conclusion about how voting for Donald Trump would be the better option for him or for people in general. He's not like coming to that conclusion, or maybe he is secretly, and you know, on his podcast or whatever, he's just trying hardest not to admit that because he doesn't want to obviously upset people. He doesn't want to lose his black skin, and he doesn't want to. I know he doesn't want to lose his job at ESPN. I know that for a fact. All right, so I know that there's a lot of things keeping him from just coming out and saying, "Hey, listen, voting for Donald Trump would be the better option." Hey, I'm sorry, there's no other option. These are the two that we got. Of course, yeah, you got Robert F. Kennedy, but I mean, let's be honest. I'm not. I don't trust Robert F. Kennedy. I just don't. I really don't. I think that he was good on as far as like COVID and as far as his views on COVID and the vaccine and things like that. He was good on that. But that doesn't tell me okay he should be our president. You know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't scream the next president to me. So pretty much, we're left with two, which is Trump and Biden. That's who we're left with. All right. Like that's just what it is. Like this is the reality that we're stuck with. Okay. Now, if there was another great candidate besides Trump, I would look into him, and if it made more sense, then I would encourage people to vote for that person. But from what I'm seeing, sorry, the only person there is that makes any sense to vote for is Donald Trump. I'm sorry. And I don't care how that pisses people off. I don't care, what people have to say. A lot of these people that are telling us that voting for Trump would be the end of democracy are the same people who said it in 2016 and that didn't happen. All right. The same people who told us that we had to vote for Biden or else. Okay. We voted for him. And look how it turned out. And now those same people are trying to lecture us about who we should be voting for. So I don't want to hear it. And Stephen A needs to grow a backbone and just come out and say who he wants to vote for. Just come out and say it, bro. Just come out and be honest. Just be honest. Because most of us already know who you're voting for. Even the people that you're trying your hardest not to offend, they're already assuming that you're voting for Trump and that you're helping him. So you might as well just come out and just be honest. Okay. Okay, but I will give him this. Okay. He does snap back at these people when they do come at him, which is what this reaction video today is about. Um, there were a few reporters, black, obviously pro BLM and very, black activists, reporters who pretty much came at Stephen A because he was on Sean Hannity and he was saying how Trump's current situation with the legal system being used against him, which let's be clear and honest, it is 100% being used against him. I'm sorry. If you don't if you only spend 3 minutes listening to TV news tell you about these trials and how they're playing out and what's going on, and you think you know anything, you don't know shit. All right. You don't know shit. You don't know shit. I'm gonna just say it. You don't know nothing. And that's who most of the people that will attack people like me or any other Trump supporters when we not defend, but when we just basically state the facts about the case. It goes right over their head because they already have their mind made up. Okay. So when we look at some of these cases and realize that all this shit is really just being used against him because, you know, they're afraid that he's actually going to win and that he's actually going to come out on top. So, I mean, it makes sense when you think about it, because, like, why did they wait till right after he announced he was running for president to bring the charges? They were investigating him already. They waited until after he announced he was right after he announced that he was running again. They said, okay, now we're going to bring the charges. If he would have never announced he was running, there would be no charges. They wouldn't be trying to arrest him, period. But it's become quite clear to most of us that, you know, it's being used against him. It's quite obvious when you pay attention to a lot of the facts of these cases. So, you know, Stephen A said basically that Black people are starting to familiarize with that. Okay. Not that they're saying that, oh, Trump knows what it is to be a Black man in America. No, that's not what it is. But of course, that's what these liberals are running with. Like, oh, you're trying to say that Trump knows what it's like to be us. And no. What Stephen A was asked is, why do they think so many Black Americans are starting to support Trump, right? And his answer was that Black Americans are starting to side with him because they see we are already 100% against the system. Okay, we are. The last 8 years showed that people were against the United States government. You know, the liberal Democrats were against the United States government. And now that that same government has decided to go after somebody they don't like, they're 100% for the same government now. So what I'm saying is, Black men are starting to support Trump because we've already been pretty much 100% against the government. And now when we see the power structure going against somebody as powerful and, you know, rich and, you know, famous as Trump, not even famous, but somebody like Donald Trump, period. When we see them going after him, and we read the facts of the case and say, this shit don't make no sense. You know, how can a woman who accused him of rape be granted money and win a civil suit against him when she had no DNA evidence to prove that he raped her, no video evidence to prove that he raped her, no eyewitness testimony to prove that they were ever even together in the place that she claims that they were. This, you know what I mean? So it's like, oh, but guilty or, you know, liable, whatever, in a civil case, pay her $83 million. As a man, to me, that's like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. So she had no evidence, no DNA, no nothing, absolutely nothing. And the only reason that they even decided to go through with the case was once he spoke out publicly and said that he would never be interested in somebody like her. That's when they said, oh, now we can get him for defamation, and then just attach it to that. But if you pay attention to the verdict sheet, they circled no on the rape claim. They rejected it. So when you keep paying attention to a lot of these cases, right, and you start to see, okay, they're definitely using the system against them because, and you ask yourself why, and then you do some research on his presidency and say, okay, well, he was actually helping America. He was actually helping people in America, taxpaying citizens, black, white, yellow, brown. It don't matter. You pay taxes, he was helping you out. It does not matter, okay? It does not matter. So it starts to make sense to say, wait, the United States government has never been one to help you, okay? Yeah, they want you dependent on them so they can give you crumbs and you be happy with those crumbs. But they're not out to actually help anybody. So when I add that all up together, I said, it's clear they want to lock this man up for anything that they can lock him up for, because they know that he might go back into office this time and actually get rid of all these sick, twisted mother effers that have been in Washington, D.C. since you and I were in diapers, long before then. A man that spent 4 years in D.C. is not the source of all my problems, especially when the people that have been there since longer before I was born are telling me he is. No, he's not the problem. You are. You've been here longer than I've been a thought on this planet, and you've done nothing. So this is why black men in America are actually starting to familiarized and they're starting to support him. I mean, listen, we always, we got a certain thing about us. We tell it like it is. We don't like to hold things back. That's just part of how we grow up in our neighborhoods. We grow up with no hair on our tongue. We're able to say how we feel, no matter how much it might insult somebody else, and say, hey, and a lot of times we even verify, it's no disrespect, but that's just truth. That's just what it is. So this is another reason why we familiarize with it, why we started supporting, because it's like, yo, it's cold hard facts, bro. It's cold hard facts. Are we men? Are we men that the rough and tough men that we claim to be? Words shouldn't hurt you if they're the truth. If it's the truth, it shouldn't hurt you. You should be able to take the truth, take it in stride, and move forward accordingly. That's it. It's just that simple. You could even be a little upset. Hold on to a little grudge for a little bit longer, but understand in the long term, what you're hearing is helpful. I look at Trump like this. I tell people when they say, "Oh, how do you put up with the way he talks, and how do you support?" I say, "Listen, man, I remember being a child and being told things that I didn't want to hear, and now that I'm an adult, I understand. Like, damn, I needed to hear that because, it makes sense now that I'm an adult. It makes sense to me. I get it now. I didn't want to hear it then. You know what I'm saying? I might have scoffed at it then, but now as an adult, as a parent, out of my own in the world, I understand. I get it now. And thank you for telling me those things. So I look at us as a people, we need to be told things that we don't want to hear. Period. We need to be told things that we don't want to hear. Not everything that we hear from our leaders are supposed to just make us feel all good and happy inside. Okay? We're supposed to get told the truth. And if it hurts, it hurts. And we move forward accordingly. Period. It is just that simple. So, Stephen A, he's got some slack, but Stephen A stands up for himself. He lets these Black activist reporters know how he feels, and he's not holding anything back. So let's go into it.
To the Stephen A. Smith Show right here over the digital airwaves of YouTube. Let me move on to some of you annoying asses and just get this out the way. And obviously, I'm talking about Donald Trump. I was a guest on Fox News' Sean Hannity's show last night to discuss the upcoming election, the trial, and Trump. Some people weren't happy about what I had to say. Take a listen. But I got to tell you something. As much as people may have been abhorred by Donald Trump's statement weeks ago, talking about how black folks, he's hearing that black folks find him relatable because what he's going through is similar to what black Americans have gone through. He wasn't lying. He was telling the truth. When you see the law.
He's not lying about why black men, he's not lying about why black men are starting to familiarize with. That is the true answer. As an answer, I think they're starting to familiarize with me because they see the legal system being used against me and they're familiar with that. That's not a lie. He's not saying that he sees it that way. You're asking him, why do you think black men are starting to familiarize with him? This is because there are black men or black people that are starting to think that way. Now, whether you agree with those black people or disagree with those black people, that's a different thing. But that's a true answer he gave.
Law enforcement, the court system, and everything else being exercised against him, it is something that black folks throughout this nation can relate to with some of our historic, iconic figures. We've seen that happen throughout society. So no matter what race, what ethnicity you may emanate from, we relate to you when you're suffering like that because we know we have. And that's what he articulated. Needless to say, people were in a tizzy over that. And why were they in a tizzy over that exactly? Because
I could already understand the way that some obviously black people were gonna listen to that and just completely go off about it, because obviously people are gonna get in their feelings and emotions like, oh, you trying to say he's experienced what we've experienced? No. We're talking about in this particular instant when it comes to the law being used against someone. because because of his political beliefs, or you get what I'm saying? We know what it's like to be, to have that happen to us in the courtroom. That's basically what black men are trying to say. Like, oh, I can feel, and you can't be mad at us for seeing that because we know it so well. We know it very well. So you can't be mad at black men for seeing that. They know it well. So they're gonna call it out when they see it. They're gonna be like, oh, I know exactly what that is. Because something we experience. I know exactly what that is. You get what I'm saying? And we could go into the whole systemic racism argument. Guess what? I'm not really big on that term systemic racism. I feel like, are there racists within the system? Absolutely. Is the entire system, the whole thing, every grind and every gear working towards punishing black people? No, no. Do I think that every aspect of the system is working towards constantly keeping black people down? No. I think that the entire system is working to keep everybody down. I think that we just play into it a whole lot more than everybody else does. I think we offer ourselves up to it a whole lot more than other people do. That's just my opinion. I think that we are literally bringing ourselves to the slaughterhouse a little bit too much, a little bit more than most other people or other races are doing. Okay. We are quite literally offering ourselves up to the system in a higher rate than any other race. Okay. But that's another argument.
Because it's being portrayed and misconstrued that I'm saying that Trump's plight relates to black people. Well, it's easy to take things out of context, which is why I love having my own platform, so I can remedy and correct some of the foolhardiness that's put out there. First things first, Sean Hannity asked me the question about Trump gaining traction with the black vote, and how whether it's a couple of points or 3 points or 4 points, that it could end up tilting the election in his favor that's upcoming this November. Yes, he's the presumptive GOP nominee. Yes, he's on trial for a hush money case to a porn star. Yes, he recently lost a civil suit for $454 million, where he had to pay about $175 million or something like that up front, okay? Yes, the man has had 4 indictments against him, 91 counts against him. Still running, though. Still a presumptive GOP nominee, though. And by the way, as I pointed out, has gained traction and is ahead of the incumbent, President Joe Biden, in at least 5 polls. Not all of the polls.
See, once again, just simply telling the truth. Just simply telling these people, listen, it don't matter. Y'all doing all of that, and it don't matter. That's all he's telling them. And they're getting mad at him for telling them that. Like, oh, just shut up and stick to the plan. It's like, yo, the plan ain't working. Okay? The plan ain't working. And by the time we get to the end of the plan and he wins again, then y'all going to realize that it wasn't working. And it's going to be far too late then. Now, I'm speaking from his perspective as him speaking to the Democrat Party. This is what he's trying to convey to them. Okay? Our plan ain't working, bro. We got to do something else. And everybody else in the Democrat Party is just looking at him like, oh, shut up and stick with the plan. When even us over here on this side can see, hey, he's right. He's trying to warn you. Y'all might want to listen to him. Y'all might want to listen to him because he's right. Everything y'all doing ain't working. But, hey, and that's when they start saying, oh, you're one of them. He's not one. He's simply telling the truth. He's telling you the truth. He's telling you what the issue is and what you need to do to fix the issue. So that way you stand a fighting effing chance, because everything that you have done and everything that you're continuing to do is working against you. I mean, he continues to get more popular and gain more support and gain more traction with every indictment, with keeping him on TV every day in a courtroom on trial. He's campaigning. Now he's in New York. He's stuck there. What do you think he's going to do while he's in New York? He's in the campaign. I actually just bought tickets to a rally in Wildwood, New Jersey.
Polls, but at least 5 polls have Trump ahead. Now, before I go a bit further, getting into us as black people, because we know how we can be now, okay? Not all, not some of us, but I'm just talking about some of us from our community. We know how the hell we could be. We're going to have that conversation in just a second. But before I get to that, I love how y'all pick apart me on Hannity. I was on Cuomo on News Nation an hour earlier. I ain't hear nothing about that. I was on MSNBC at least twice over the last month. I ain't hear nothing about that.
Because they don't care about that. When you're walking the line, they don't pay you attention. They just let you, oh, good. All right. Good little worker, B. Good little worker, Ant. The moment you come out the assembly line and you start, hey, wait a minute. That's when they, wow, hold up. Wow, hold up. It's not a system where they praise you and they appreciate you for doing the things that they want you to do. No, you get nothing for that. But when you step out of line, oh, you better believe you're getting them lashes. Whoosh, get back in line, boy. Get back in line. And that's the Democratic Party using the rest of the black people to go after the one who thought he could get away. Sound familiar?
I was on CNN. Abby Phillips, Laura Coates, several times. I ain't hear nothing about that. Okay? Oh, Stephen A., contributor to Fox. I'm no contributor to Fox News. I show up on all the networks. I was on Real Time with Bill Maher on HBO. I'm sorry, I ain't hear nothing about that. I've repeatedly said, I think Trump will cause civil war in this country. I can't vote for the brother. Y'all just go.
Trump ain't gonna cause civil war. Trump ain't gonna cause civil war. Okay? The buildup to civil war is being caused by these people in Congress and in the Senate that are sitting around sending all of our hard-earned tax money to other countries. That's what's going to start a civil war. Okay? And the fact that one side keeps voting for it to keep happening, while the other side is saying, bro, let us keep our own money. I'm literally fighting for you to keep your money too. And you're fighting me to send all of our money. I'm trying to fight for me, you, for all of us to keep our money. Okay? I'm trying to vote against this shit. That means you get to keep your money as well. And you have people actively voting against their own self-interest, their own. Does it make sense? How do you beat that? How do you beat an enemy that's so content on taking you down that they'll take themselves down in the process? It's like a kamikaze pilot, like a suicide bomber. You can't, there's no way to win that. It's scary, but there's just no, it's a scary analogy, but an eye-opening one when you really think about it, because it's like, how do you fight that? How do you fight or vote your way out of something like that when there are people that will happily destroy their own country just to watch you fall? Well, there are people that live in America but hate it so much that they will live in the ashes and in the ruins of their own country. They'll bring it upon and live in the ashes and the ruins of their own home and probably be happy with it. Well, who knows what they'll be like with it, because a lot of these people claim that that's what they want. They want America to fall so badly while living here until the day it happens. And you'll see just how fast every one of those people that cheered it on and rooted for it, just how fast they'll regret it. Just how fast. Right away.
Gonna ignore that. Why am I bringing all of this stuff up? Because the second black folks find somebody from our community that doesn't march 100% lockstep with one another, they a sellout. They this, they that. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up.
Shut the hell up.
This is getting ridiculous. Okay? Trump is winning.
He's winning.
Y'all just gonna stand still? I'm wrong.
They ain't gonna stand still. They're gonna argue amongst themselves. And they're just gonna claim racism and say, Trump wants to put y'all back in chains, man. All right? He won't put you back on the planet. Didn't y'all say this shit in 2016? Didn't y'all say the same thing in 2016? Literally, I could have sworn that I was supposed to be on a plantation somewhere by now, picking cotton again. I mean, that's all CNN would say to me all day, every day. And I ain't gonna lie, I ate that shit up and I believed it. A lot of people believed it. A lot of people that don't believe it anymore, they believed it at the time. Okay? We ain't falling for it this time. Not this time.
When I sit up there and I say, yo, Democrats, all you got is the soon to be 82-year-old incumbent. You didn't have anything in the bullpen. I'm wrong for bringing that up.
Uncle Bernie.
I'm wrong for bringing up why the hell you had Gavin Newsom on Fox News looking like he's running for president instead of Joe Biden being the president or Kamala Harris being the vice president.
Be covered in shit.
I'm wrong for bringing that up. I'm wrong for bringing up when I went off about Kamala Harris, our vice president, our HBCU grad from Howard University,
Missing in
a
action.
black woman, highly intelligent, former attorney general in the city of San Francisco, former attorney general in the state of California.
They used to lock up black men like
up
hobby.
how she was wrong to avoid getting into it with then presidential candidate Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, when he wanted to debate her on the good parts of slavery. I was wrong. I was wrong about that. I was wrong to saying that's a fight she should have embraced. When y'all gonna wake up? I'm wrong when I'm pointing out how black folks for the first time are talking about the borders being flooded.
To be honest, Ron DeSantis wasn't trying to teach nobody on how it was the good thing to be a slave. He was just trying to teach history. That's all. The reality of history. That's it. That's all. The reality of history is harsh. Okay? It's harsh. It's harsh. And a lot of what we've been taught has been watered down to keep us from being too upset and too emotional about you know, the way a lot of that shit went down, man. That's the truth. I don't believe that I was taught the 100% truth about my history when I was in high school. I really don't. I really don't.
How illegal immigration ultimately negatively affects us. I'm wrong. I'm wrong in pointing out how xenophobia, homophobia, transphobia has all of a sudden become bigger issues than racism in this country.
And that right there is one thing people are not catching on to neither. Because how in the world can a group of people who have probably just become a really large group of people recently start talking about how they've been oppressed for so long and they've been dealing with so many things, facing so many obstacles of oppression. And don't get me wrong, okay? I'm not gonna sit here and act like there isn't a history of people with different sexual preferences being discriminated against. Obviously, that's true. But if we're gonna sit here and pretend like it hasn't gotten so out of hand that these group of people now try to make it seem like their oppression, if you want to call it that, is the worst kind of oppression that the world has ever seen. That there's never been anything in the world quite as bad or even worse. I mean, come on. They attack. You know what they've done? They've attached everybody's struggle to the black struggle. So if there's any group of people out there struggling or feel like they're being oppressed, they've now bunched you all together. Okay? They've made you one big flag so you can all wave the same flag of oppression. That way they never have to individually address any of your rights. They can just constantly fight for your rights forever and keep you voting for them forever, because it's easier to run on an issue, to run a campaign and claim you're going to fix something than it is to actually fix it.
I mean, damn. How much proof do you need? When I brought up the economy, they say the economy is good. They say the economy is flourishing. You trying to tell me you black and you disagree with me when I say to us, we don't want to hear about the numbers. Oh, the labor participation rate is good. Oh, unemployment is good. Oh, the economy is okay. If gas prices are damn near double what it used to be, if the price of bread, milk, cheese, and eggs and everything in between is double what it used to be, but we ain't getting raises at work. You trying to tell me I was wrong for bringing that up? You trying to tell me I'm wrong when you're sitting up there and you talking about, and subjects like immigrants in New York City getting $53 million prepaid credit cards to subsidize their existence in this country, and I'm pointing out how that was never done for black people? I'm wrong? I'm wrong? That's where we really want to go? That's what game we playing? I ain't talking politics. I'm talking life. I don't give a damn that I'm inundated with sports all day, every day. I'm a human being. Right. I'm a black man. I'm a citizen of the United States of America. You don't see this shit happening? I'm supposed to just sit idly by and say nothing? The hell with me talking. Why ain't you talking?
Because they're not allowed to. They're not allowed to actually talk about the things that the Democrat Party are doing that are hurting Black America, the minorities in America, everybody that's in America, okay? Every taxpaying citizen in America. They're not allowed to talk about that, okay? Why do you think that they focus so hard on a group of people who have no documentation, who have no anything here? Because that group of people, they can't complain. They can't complain about how the system is failing them because giving them kibbles and bits at this point is more than anybody else is going to do for them. That's why they focus on that group and not the group of people that they were actually tasked with helping. Because when you shine a light and a microphone on those people, the taxpaying citizens of America, the minorities, the Black Americans, all these people that are, once again, just like Republicans and conservatives, taxpaying citizens. When it's time for them to talk about those people, or when there's a magnifying glass put on those group of people, they don't like what they hear coming from them. They're being told by their constituents, these group of people, that they're failing and they're not doing a good job. So instead of focusing on that group, we'll just focus on these people over here who are grateful for every little tiny thing we do. Because that's what they need. They need dependence. They need people who need them. They need people who need every last crumb that they give them, okay? Black Americans, minority Americans, we are entrepreneurs, of course, just like white Americans. We are all entrepreneur spirited in America, most of us. It does not matter if you're Black, white, Spanish. They don't, it's an American thing. It's a thing about being here in this country. It's a thing about being here and living in this capitalist society that brings that about of us and says, I gotta go hard. I gotta go hard. I gotta, and out of that, it creates some of the greatest businesses we've ever seen in this world. It creates millionaires. It creates, it creates all kinds of successful people. Okay, they don't want that. They don't want successful people. They don't want successful citizens, because if we're all successful and we're all doing good for ourselves, then what do we need them for? We don't. And that's when everybody realizes, wait a minute, forget Trump, forget Biden. I don't need any of y'all. All I need you to do is even the playing field and get out and get the fuck out of my way. That's all I need you to do. That's it. I don't need you to promise me shit. I don't need you to act like you're going to help me. I don't need you to lie to me for my vote. I need you to even the playing field and get the fuck out of my way. And if I fail, I fail. But they want to create these groups of people who are just forever dependent. Like, I don't want more, I don't want less, I just want what you give me, and that's it. Anything you're going to give me, I'm going to be happy with, as long as you're giving it to me for free. Sad, man. It's very sad.
Why aren't you screaming to the high heavens? Why aren't you telling liberals on the left, yo, you need to stop with the extreme leftist stuff on the fringes with all of that woke stuff? Mm-hmm. What sex you are, whether you a male or a female, whether you can be a male but call yourself a female and get to compete against women or girls in various sports. You want those issues to be more prevalent than the stuff going on in our community that directly affects our lives, as opposed to less than 1% of the damn population?
Don't want no men in the bathroom with our
What
daughters.
you doing? How come you ain't doing it?
Or that in my community.
How come you ain't raising holy hell? How come you not speaking up?
Sad.
And by the way, to get specific, when I brought up Trump and whatever relation he has with black folks, the question that was asked to me was the supporters of Trump. Why are they doing so? I said, black folks want to be safe in the street.
And that was the question that was asked. Not why do you think it? Why do you support him? They asked him, why do you think Black Americans are supporting him? And I can tell you right now, that's why I support him. The more that I see they come at him, I'm like, yo, I fucking hate the government. And they're going after him because he is literally exposing everything that they do wrong. Oh, nah. Oh, nah. Oh, nah. I got to support him if that's the case. I got to support it. So there you go. And I'm just one. Okay, there are millions more just like me.
Streets of America. They don't want to see somebody committing crimes, assault or whatever,
I got
and
kids, man.
getting arrested and being out of jail in the same day.
Walking up and down the street committing.
I said black folks want to make money and they want to keep money in their pocket. They want to be safe. That's what I said. And I also said this. I said, yo, our criminal justice system, our courts, law enforcement, that anytime we see anybody that we deem to be an individual being persecuted, where the law is being exercised against them, the heavy hand of the law, do we find that relatable to some degree? Yes. I'm lying about that? Really? Really? I'm lying about that, huh?
No.
Didn't happen to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.? Didn't happen to Malcolm X? Didn't happen to Al Sharpton, damn it. Didn't happen to a plethora of black folks throughout our history. When all else failed, the heavy hand of law enforcement, of the courts, of laws, ultimately rained down upon them.
Yep.
When we talk about recidivism, when we talk about our incarceration rate, don't we sit up there and talk about how we need to get the laws changed because folks are being criminalized for the most innocuous of things? Remember we had those conversations? Didn't we talk about the crime bill in the 90s? When people were being thrown in jail at an exorbitant amount out of our community because of non-violent offenses? Didn't we hear the now president apologize for his role in leading that charge when he was the head of the Senate?
And this is the thing that kills me the most, man, about these anti-Trump black people that voted for Joe Biden. I'm like, bro, you quite literally voted for somebody that contributed to the mass incarceration of black men. I didn't. I voted for the other guy who has never done that. Ever. There's not one bill, one law that Trump passed that contributed to the mass incarceration of black men for petty fucking crimes and gave them long prison sentences. You can't name one bill that Trump has ever made that's done that. Not one. Joe Biden did. So any Biden voter in the world, black Biden voter that wants to come at you about being a black Trump supporter, all you got to do is talk about the fact that Joe Biden literally contributed to the mass incarceration of black men with the crime bill. The end. Conversation over. Get out of my face. Get the fuck out of my face. Joe Biden contributed to the mass incarceration of black men with the crime bill. Donald Trump never created a bill that contributed to the mass incarceration of black men. Not one. Not one. So don't ever in your life be a black Biden voter and try to talk down on black people for being Trump supporters because Trump's racist. Get the fuck out of here.
Didn't we hear Clinton apologize when his wife was running for the presidency? I'm making this up, though. I'm making this up. You don't see the parallel? You don't see the connection? Why you think Trump went out there and he said, hey, what were his words? I've been told, those were his words. I've been told, I've heard that some black folks find themselves somewhat relatable to me because of what I'm going through right now. And where would we get that from? You know good and damn well. Georgia case is another matter. On the phone, I need 11,000 votes, 11,700 votes. That's an egregious situation for the president to find himself in. We ain't talking about that. But we ain't talking about the civil case where he lost a $454 million, had a $454 million judgment against him either.
I already explained.
You real estate and you manufacture. You're a real estate mogul and you manufacturing numbers. Okay, wow. We know that's going to happen. And you do the crime, you get caught, you got to pay the penalty, you got to do the time.
The votes thing is not a crime, especially now that we know for a fact that they've actually found more votes in Georgia. They found more. They've admitted that there was fraud in Georgia. So that's not a crime when the president of the United States goes on, gets on the phone with the governor and says, hey, you need to find the rest of my votes, bro. I know they're out there. I know they're out there. They're committing fraud. They're committing fraud. I know there's more votes for me out there. You need to go find them. And guess what? We've been vindicated. They recently announced that there was definitely fraud. They announced it several times that they found discarded votes, that there was obvious evidence of voter fraud in Georgia. Google, they've admitted it. There was fraud in Georgia. Saying, find me 11,000 votes, because I know they exist. Because they're definitely committing fraud. I'm the president of the United States. I think I would know what's going on in my country. It's not crime. It's not criminal.
But you're the former president of the United States.
My life was out of control because of my addiction. I want to feel like myself again, so I made the call.
Once I
And your ass is in court where you have to show up each day, otherwise you're going to be thrown in jail. And the crime is that you took $130,000 of money and through your lawyer or some other intermediary, you gave it to a porn star for hush money purposes. So he got loose with a porn star. And he didn't want the world to know while he was running for president that he did that. And so he tried to wiggle his way through that.
Even if he did, so the fuck what?
You trying to tell me that America is sitting up there? I'm talking about independents and folks on the right. Of course, people who hate him on the left are going to take that position. But I'm talking about independents and folks on the right. You trying to tell me they think this is a serious matter that requires our time and attention?
No.
John Edwards, did he do time? Gary Hart, did he do time? Bill Clinton, they said he got loose in the Oval Office. I heard libertarians losing their damn mind. It was in the Oval Office. Oh my God. Oh my God. Remember that? But he in court. Instead of being on the campaign trail. You don't think people see through that? They do. All I did was point it out.
Facts.
I am not a fan of Trump being the president. I think he will cause civil war in this country because I don't think he's going to cater to all of the American people. I think he's just going to cater to people who voted for him and who are loyal to him. And the rest of us be damned. That's how I view him.
The end.
But that doesn't mean I get to close my eyes and be completely oblivious and ignorant to the stuff the Democrats are doing to lose the damn election. I said it before and I say it again. Beat him. Beat him. Get a bullpen. Have some other candidates. Find folks with pizzazz that can talk to the American people and resonate.
They don't exist.
Don't act. I'm not saying you're doing this.
Democratic
I'm saying
Party,
from an
bro.
impression, from a perspective
You're all
matter.
controlled.
Don't act like what you're doing is you want the president to get through the election, and then after that, damn it, God rest his soul, he could end up passing away or something, and Kamala Harris can become president that way. No! You want to be president, run for it. Beat them.
Facts.
Show that you can compete. That's what we got to do in anything we do in life. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Man, it's not lying.
You
man.
want to come at me? Feel free. Ain't nobody running, ain't nobody hiding. No, it had nothing to do with sports, don't have nothing to do with politics. It's got everything to do with me. I'm Stephen A, baby. I'm who the hell I am.
I like that.
I ain't here to make friends nor enemies.
I like that.
But I'm going to give you the truth as I see it. Because I'm living in this world. I'm paying taxes. I'm paying bills.
There you go.
I'm living life.
Stop paying bills and
I
taxes.
see some
kids.
of the things that's going
That makes
on.
sense.
And I don't agree with everything.
So then, it ain't gonna make
I don't
sense.
agree with a lot of stuff on the right. Marjorie Taylor Greene, I don't even want to hear from this woman again. Oh my God, how does she have an elected seat? How is she
Same
a
way Eric
legislator?
Swalwell still has one when he's
A
paying
legislator. How?
Shut up, Stephen A.
Make me wonder about some of those folks down there in Georgia.
A lot of people on the Democrat side too. How the hell they still got a job? Adam Schiff, how you still got a
But
job?
there's a host of Republicans I would have
Nothing
voted
you've
for.
ever said
I
is
would have voted for John Kasich. I'd have voted for Chris Christie. Without question. I would have voted for Nikki
This is
Haley.
what pisses me off about Stephen A. right here.
Yes, I would have. Because I don't like what I'm seeing.
For another war you would have voted for.
But I'm the same dude that voted for Obama
The next 4 years about war.
and Gore and Kerry and Clinton.
He's voting for Trump, people. Don't let
Hell,
him.
I voted for Dukakis.
He's voting for Trump behind closed doors. Don't worry.
Come on. At some point, how much can you take? How many years are we supposed to hear Armageddon is arriving? Oh my God, if you vote for this guy, the world is over. We'll never recover. Well, HW was in office. We recovered. W was in office. We recovered. Trump was in office. We recovered.
True. No, we didn't recover.
At some point in time, it ain't about how awful the other person is. That shouldn't be your claim to fame. It should be what you bring to the table. I wish I could have played in the NBA. My scrub ass, I just need to find another scrub that's worse than me so I can go out there representing the NBA uniform. That's going to make your eyes more appealing to the product if Stephen A was playing in the NBA instead of LeBron or somebody. Wake the hell up.
Yeah, man.
Show what you made of. Instead of engaging in fear-mongering and demagoguery to get your way. Win, damn it. Last point. Trump is busting y'all ass. That's what he's doing.
Straight.
He better end up in cuffs. He better end up behind bars. He better end up in a zebra suit. The last thing you want is on election night for Trump
make it worse
to still be the GOP nominee, and it comes down between him and Biden, because what it will mean is that you've been talking all of this stuff, Russian collusion and everything else, all these years, and still couldn't touch it.
I ain't saying I'm involved in anything. I'm just predicting what's going to
That
happen.
ain't Stephen A's fault.
I already know that too.
That's y'all's.
Like me saying it ain't
y'all
going nobody else.
And didn't get it done. I'm not rooting against liberals. I'm not rooting against Democrats. I'm saying you're defeating yourselves, and I'm tired of watching you do it. There's a difference. You're going to quote me on something. Quote me on that.
Yeah. Nice.
I swear.
Oh, that was interesting, man.
Says it best sometimes. Sometimes I can't hang with y'all. I just can't.
I like that, man. I like how he sticks up for himself, though, you know? Despite whatever else I feel about Stephen A. I like how he not only defends himself, but I love how he really breaks it down and just gives it to them straight. He tells them straight. Whether he realizes what he's doing or not, he's creating he may not be creating Trump supporters, but he's definitely creating anti-Democrats for sure on his channel. How do you argue with anything he said? You know, I can argue with him on the thinking Trump is a couple of things he said about Trump, I can argue with him. But for the most part, when he talks about Biden and the Democrats and what they're doing, how can you argue with what he's saying? It's true. It's obvious. It's mad obvious, bro. So anybody who doesn't want to just like come to terms with what's really going on in the world and how a lot of most of what's happening today is the current administration's fault and there are problems that you did not have 4 years ago, things you didn't have to worry about 4 years ago. Y'all got to do some soul searching, bro. Okay? Y'all got to do some soul searching, man. Don't stub your toe and cut off your whole foot because of it. You know what I mean? That's all I can really say. But once again, favorite minority from the loud majority, touching base with the base. Make sure you guys are hitting the like buttons on all my videos. Make sure you guys are subscribing. Pat that like button. Pat that subscribe button. And make sure you comment too, whether you agree or disagree. I go back and forth a little bit or something, but I can't do it all day. Not all day. But you guys have a good one. I'll see you on the next video. All right. Peace.